Anxiety can feel like a never-ending loop, right? You try to calm down, but your mind just won't stop. Here's the truth. Overcoming anxiety isn't about getting rid of it completely. It's about learning how to live with it. And today, I'm going to show you how. We all experience anxiety at some point. Whether it's that overwhelming fear before a big presentation or the constant worry about what people think, anxiety affects all of us. But what if I told you that anxiety doesn't have to control your life? In this video, we're going to break down practical, simple steps to manage anxiety so you can start living on your own terms again. Sound good? Let's dive in. So why is anxiety such a huge issue? Anxiety is like this unwanted guest that shows up uninvited to every event in your life. It distracts you when you need to focus. It makes small problems seem gigantic. And sometimes, it even stops you from doing things you love. What's worse, the more we try to fight it, the stronger it seems to get. If you've ever felt stuck in this cycle, you're not alone. Here's the first challenge. We often try to ignore or push away our anxiety. We think, if I just don't pay attention to it, it'll go away. But that's not how it works. Ignoring anxiety is like trying to ignore a leaking faucet. You might not hear the dripping at first, but eventually, it's all you can think about. So how do we break out of this cycle? It starts with understanding that anxiety isn't your enemy. It's a part of your body's natural response to stress. In fact, anxiety can be helpful. It tells us when something feels off. But when anxiety gets too loud, that's when it becomes a problem. The first step to managing anxiety is simple. Recognition. Recognize when you're feeling anxious. That might sound obvious, but think about how many times we've ignored those first signs of anxiety. Your heart starts racing. You can't focus. Maybe your hands feel sweaty. Instead of brushing it off, acknowledge it. Okay, I'm feeling anxious right now. That's okay. It's just my body's way of responding to stress. Now, once you've acknowledged it, the next step is to breathe. Yeah, I know you've heard this before, but hear me out. When you're anxious, your body goes into fight or flight mode, and your breathing becomes shallow. Taking deep, slow breaths tells your brain, hey, we're safe, everything's fine. Try it right now. Breathe in slowly for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale for 4. That small action can calm your nervous system almost immediately. Next, let's talk about perspective. Anxiety loves to blow things out of proportion. Something small, like being late to a meeting, can feel like the end of the world when you're anxious. One way to combat this is to ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? Will this matter next week? Most of the time, the answer is no. Reframing the situation helps shrink anxiety down to size. Another big part of managing anxiety is routine. Our minds and bodies love routines. They thrive on predictability. If you're waking up at random times every day, eating junk food, and spending hours scrolling on your phone, your body is in a constant state of confusion. And when your body's confused, anxiety creeps in. Try sticking to a daily routine. Even simple habits like getting up at the same time every day or taking a 10-minute walk can have a massive impact on your anxiety levels. Now let's get into a tool that's often overlooked: journaling. When anxiety takes over, our thoughts get jumbled, and it's hard to separate reality from fear. Writing down your thoughts helps you organize them. It's like emptying a messy drawer. Once everything's laid out in front of you, it's easier to see what's real and what's just noise. Start by writing down your worries. Don't judge them, just get them out. Then ask yourself, are these thoughts based on facts or assumptions? You'd be surprised how many of our anxieties are built on what-ifs and maybes. Here's the part where everything comes together: facing your fears. This might sound counterintuitive, but the best way to reduce anxiety is to face it head-on. Avoiding situations that make you anxious only gives anxiety more power. For example, if social situations make you anxious, start small. Go to a gathering for just 15 minutes. Push yourself to stay a little longer each time. What happens is, the more you expose yourself to the things that scare you, the less power they have over you. It's called desensitization, and it's proven to help with anxiety. But remember, start small. You don't need to jump into the deep end. Take tiny steps, but be consistent. Over time, those steps add up, and you'll notice that what used to make you anxious now feels more manageable. Let's sum it up. Anxiety doesn't have to run your life. It's about recognizing when it's there, learning to breathe through it, changing your perspective, sticking to routines, journaling your thoughts, and most importantly, facing your fears in small, manageable steps. Anxiety is a part of being human, but it doesn't have to be a part of every moment of your life. The more you practice these strategies, the more control you'll gain over your anxiety instead of letting it control you. Now, if you want more tips on improving your mindset, check out the next video. It's packed with actionable advice you can start using today.